Oh, Jesus. Hello, friends! Welcome to episode 28 of Modern Minecraft Survival with me, SkitzTGPG, and my trusty assistant, Grundle, who is somewhere in the house, I'm sure. Let's go find him, because you guys really like it when I show my Grundle first thing in the morning. Which, you know, that opens up a whole avenue of questions, but I'm not going to ask him. Grundle! Grundle! Where you at, baby boy? Grundle? You are here? I hear you. It's the kobold constantly consumed by couches. That's right. Alright, well, you look comfortable. Extremely comfortable. Let me know if you find any loose change in there while you're down there, Grundle, and I'm going to build our mob duplicator and then get started with some more magic. Don't tease me. Listen, I'll get to it. Thank you. Your faith is shaky at best, but I appreciate it anyway. So, I went and built the chamber for the mob duplicator. And if you'll recall from last episode, we wanted to build or make a spell in Ars Nouveau. Like these consoles. However, we found that we wanted to harvest rabbits. And the rabbits were hard to find. I did catch one with a mob imprisonment tool, but we don't have the device to clone it and farm the resources, i.e. the hide that we need for the spell to get our zoomies. So, I built a new hallway. It's got some view glass, although the view isn't exactly incredible. Although you can see parts of the above floor up there. We go through this, and we have two rooms here. So this is a maintenance hatch that leads both to, like, a walkway outside, as well as a hatch down into our maintenance room. So this is the maintenance room. I have this here so that the cavern isn't constantly loud with zombies. It does not affect the dreadful dirt upstairs. I double-checked. So the duplicator's going to go here. I brought a network receiver and transmitter for our fluid grid to get essence down here. The mob duplicator, obviously. The dimensional cell I made, that's for power, duh. But before we get everything set up down here, there is one more thing we have to make sure is all set up. This is the chamber itself. Pretty big. If you'll recall, our last mob duplicator chamber, we had two. One for small stuff, one for big stuff. I just figured, you know what? One is better. We'll make it fancy. So I made some vector plates, which if we sneak on them, we don't go anywhere. But if we stand, it throws you. There's different strengths, but because this is a mob spawner, I kind of want it to do this. Like, throw monsters into these horribly violent-looking... horribly violent-looking fans. These all take redstone power, and they churn mobs. And you can put upgrades in them, which you can see I've saved the recipes up here in my to-do list because we're going to put upgrades in all 15 of these fans, then, or grinders. Then we're going to put upgrades in this fan to increase the area. You can see the blue grid here is how far the fan reaches. We can obviously expand that area of effect. I figure between that fan, and I have a bunch of extras in case there's some gaps, but that fan and these vector plates should ideally push everything in this chamber into this death wall. And this is so that it can kill everything from dragons to ghasts to, you know, whatever is really tall. I have one up there. So, you know what? No, because that would make the vector plates moot. So what I'll do is maybe 2 more blocks out in each direction. So let's do that. There we go. And like I said, if we crouch, we're immune to it. So, boop, boop. Worth noting, the entire chamber is wrapped around by weatherproof glass. The top and bottom aren't, because I like to live dangerously. I don't think I'll be spawning dragons in here anytime soon, and if I do, I'll probably plug in our force field that we had plugged into our previous one. Right now, the biggest thing is get our materials and equipment as good as we can so that we can, you know, deal with the pillagers. A small scouting party jumped me the other day while I was working on the mage tower, but they were chumps. Like I said, just a scouting party. Nothing to be super duper worried about. So, let's look into making some fan upgrades. So we need, for up and down, max of 3. So let's make 3. Pop it in here. And now we can see it covers the entirety of the... I actually want to move this fan up one. It looks like. Okay. Nope. Well, that's good to know. We can aim it. That's very good to... Ow. No. There we go. Now if we go... Boop. Boop. And now it covers the entirety of the height of the chamber. Now, we make some width upgrades. All right. Max of 3. And where does that put us? Right there. Okay. So that's obviously not going to do us a lot of good. So let's make some distance. And that max is 10. And we're out of feathers. Isn't that fun? Okay, so that did push it out a bit. We need feathers. Oh boy. That means we need chickens. So all the mob things, all the mob fan upgrades require feathers. Oh, crud. For now, all we need to do is get the rabbit duplicated. So let's do that. Get the zoomies, then we'll worry about feathers later. So let's get this stuff plugged in so we can go ahead and make our zoomie spell. Like I said, I don't want to get too distracted. So here's our mob duplicator. And if we pop it in here, we can hit show area. And if we go back up to our control room here, pretty nice, pretty nice. This is more for props than anything else. But if we access our screen here, we can look, we can see the effective area, which is, we could even move this down one, I think, and be okay. So why don't we do that? I want ghasts at some point, you know, to farm the tears, to farm their delicious, salty, sweet tears. And can't do that if the chamber isn't big enough, but I also want them to die. But we can always figure that out once we get chickens and farm them, and etc. So, we're going to set this to run with redstone signal. And we're going to say, this is the network receiver we're going to use for the refined fluids to make their way to the duplicator, because the duplicator runs on essence. Now, we have plenty of essence, but we need a way for refined storage is fluid network to get down here, and I didn't want to run cabling from Y level like 60 all the way down to Y level 0. So instead, I decided we'll just make a network receiver and transmitter, and that'll let us do that wirelessly, which is fun. So here we can put the receiver there. So now we're going to dye this blue. We're going to dye this blue. That's the transmitter. We're going to bind this network card to this receiver, and we're going to take, oops. Then we're going to take our transmitter and our network card, And we're going to go upstairs. I hear a cave monster. Too high. Okay, and now we're going to go to our fluid room. Right here. And we're going to say... So if we put the transmitter right there, and we say 59 blocks, that means it can see the receiver downstairs. Now, if we go downstairs, see this is lit. Lit AF, fam. No, don't worry, I won't do that ever again. So now, we actually need a exporter. Exporter. And we say, you export stuff. And we're going to say you are for fluids, and you're only for essence. And look at that, it's starting to fill. Slowly, which means we should probably put a speed upgrade in this exporter. Look, 3 of them. Boop, boop, boop. Put that away. Set all of this to push energy out. And now she's filling up. Look at that. And that sets basically what mob appears. We're going to show our working area. And as you can see, that purple thing there, that's not super comprehensive. That's not a large area. So I already made some upgrades. We're going to plug them in. We're going to plug them in it. And where's the range 10? Here it is. And this will allow that purple box we just saw to cover the entirety of our chamber, as you can see. But it only does it 2 blocks high. So that's fine, because that's only telling it, okay, where can you spawn things? So now I want it to go a little faster. So I'm also going to put a speed upgrade in. Now, I also made these upgrades, but I ended up using the mob grinding utility choppers instead. So we don't need them at the current time. We'll put those away. Actually, why don't we put this and this away as well in that. Just to get our purposes met, we're gonna do it a little dirty at first. And by that, I mean we're just going to ignore, spawn a ton of rabbits, alright, that's probably going to do it for our rabbit needs. You know, what is in there. So we're going to set this to work with redstone signal again so we don't get overrun with bunnies! Which sounds fun until they start biting. Those teeth hurt. Okay. We've got our bunny stuff for now. So let's go upstairs. And make our spell. Oh, let's take the teleporter. That's not the teleporter. This is the teleporter. Okay. So now let's go ahead and shut the door because it's nighttime. I don't want to get jumped by stuff. And now we can take our book, go to here, go to Tier 1 Glyphs, go to Launch, and select. So now we need to give them 1, 2, 3. Now we just need an air essence. The heck's an air essence? It's that blue thing. So to make an air essence, we need a feather, which thank God we kept 1, a wilden wing, and an arrow, and a source stone. So, and then if we put 4 more right here. Move these closer. And what's cool about making the essences is they don't actually use any of the resources they need. Now, this is one of those things where we need the source. However, we've been letting the source run for some time now. 50%. Let's show you how that affects stuff. If we put the source here, you're going to see it starts... bleh, and now all of a sudden it's crafting much faster by 10s instead of 1s. Boom. And that used 20% of our source from this jar. So we're going to... We're going to put this back down and let it continue to fill. Although I worry about, well, this. Because it might make crops and stuff a little bit trickier to grow. But we will figure it out. However, we do have our essence, which means it made the glyph of launch. So what happened here is when the glyph was finished, the air essence, the table read it from that distance and just automatically drew it in. And as you see, the resources we needed to craft the essence are still here. So now we select the launch. And where did I put the rest of my food? In the fridge, of course. Of course! Okay. So now the next spell I want to make is leap. Oh, and see? And it automatically crafts it. And now, if we open it, we can see we have these options. Now, can I make the other one I really wanted to make? There it is. So it's 4 glistening melon slices, a golden apple, and an abjuration essence. Let's see if we can craft it, right? So, melon. We don't have any melon. Yep, there's the melon. So now we have melon. So now we can make glistening melon. But we'll do that downstairs where we know exactly how much we have to actually make. Okay, then a golden apple. Easy enough. And then an abjuration essence. Now an abjuration essence costs a fermented spider eye, sugar, and a bucket of milk. And milk. He needs some milk! Bloot. Boop. Plus there's those 2 down by Stu's farm that I'm sure have a decent amount in them, so. There we go. Look at that. Now we have the heal glyph. Now, heal is a tier 2 glyph. Which means we can... Heal is too powerful for your current spellbook, so we have to upgrade our spellbook now. Not difficult at all. And I guess you can dye it? I can dye it. Dye the book, not dye it. I'm thin enough, thank you. So now we have the Mage's Spellbook, which is friggin' sweet. Which means if we open this up... So, anytime you upgrade your spellbook, you also get a boost in mana. So we can fire a lot more with that before we have to recharge, which is awesome. And then we're going to make a spell 3, and that's going to be Zoomies! And now... Hey! Does cost a lot of mana, though, huh? That's alright. There are other glyphs we can unlock as well. For instance, we should probably unlock Slowfall, right? Oh, but we need feathers. Okay. That does it. We're gonna go get some chickens. Now that we have the cloner. Okay. Well, away we go. And we're just gonna head, you know, basically straight north. Here we go. Hopefully there's a place to land here. Yeah, we're fine. Any chimkins? Chimkin! Chicken dead that way. Cool, look at that. Oh, and I hear him. There you are, you little shit. You're mine! Go. Really should make a faster way to get up to the Audacity. But then again, it kind of fits that it has the Audacity to be all the way up top. So, maybe I'll suffer for the theme. It's just now, hypothetically, if I click this, chickens! Let them build up a second. Oh, Jesus. Stupid Krampus! I wonder if there's an update to this mod so that he stops showing up. Because I have, like, the holiday version. But every time I tried to upgrade it before, it wouldn't let me because other things were out of date. And a nether wart. Now we have slow fall. Awesome. So now, if we go into our book, and we say, we go to zoomies, right? We're gonna get rid of the amplify. We're gonna add safe fall. That does take a chunk out of the mana, but we'll fix that too. So right now we have slow fall that goes off whenever we zoom. So now we won't kill ourselves. Well, we'll be at less of a disadvantage when it comes to accidental self-murder. There's no promises that I won't still somehow find a way to get my ass killed. And now that we have our stuff, I think next episode we'll get the mob grinder fully kitted out with the mob duplicator system, right? And then we're going to start duplicating mobs that we need, specifically ghasts. Might go ghast hunting for their tiers and stuff. But first we'll have to fix the fan. So, yeah. Anyway. Guys, thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you had some fun. I know I sure as shit did. I look forward to seeing you guys next time, where we fix this thing up, make sure it's running all nice and fancy. And maybe we'll, I don't know, we'll explore some stuff, figure out what we want to do next, what we need in order to be prepared for pillaging and plundering and poopy stuff. So I guess I'm going to keep working down here. I hope you guys like what it looks like. But anyway, thanks again. Looking forward to seeing you next time. But until then, make sure you take care of yourselves. Okay. Bye. Bye. I'm working on it, Captain. I'm giving her all she's got, but she cannot take much more. Ooh, muffin button.